All right, everyone. Welcome to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for May 11th, 12th, and 13th, 2018. All right, so this weekend we have the moon in Pisces, and we are finishing the current lunar month, gearing up for a new moon on Tuesday of next week. So definitely the ending phase of the current cycle, which is always good for getting into, again, that receptive nature of life. Maybe doing some clearing, letting some things go, creating essentially space for what will be new beginnings around the corner here. So with Pisces in particular, great weekend for getting in touch with the tranquil aspects of life, rest, relaxation, meditation, spirituality, and possibly even creative as well with our imagination and that type of energy. So we do have some important aspects this weekend. The sun is going to be trining up to Pluto on Friday, so Friday could be an empowering type of day. Really good for diving deep and expressing ourselves deeply. Saturday, Mercury does square up to Mars, so maybe some clash with the communication or with the routine, which we can work on constructively. And Sunday, that Mercury is going to go over Uranus, giving a lot of maybe erratic energy with the mind, wanting a bit of change with the whole communication sector, maybe even with the routine as well. All right, so let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here is the sky for this weekend. The moon will be in Pisces all weekend. Again, we are using the actual size of the constellations. Pisces is a very large constellation, so if you are new to the channel and not sure what Sidereal Astrology is, check out that link down below because the signs are different from mainstream astrology. All right, so yeah, the ending phase, as you can see here, the moon is getting closer to the sun. They'll conjoin on Tuesday for the new moon. And that's very much what this phase of the month is about, is clearing for the new beginnings around the corner. So Pisces in particular, the last sign of the Zodiac, is about clearing anyways, getting in touch with essentially our beingness and the beingness of life and the interconnection of life and our spiritual inner beingness as well. So anyway we get in touch with this, it can be great with Pisces. For some of us, it's rest. Others, it might be literal spiritual activities such as meditation. Others creatively, right? Pisces can be very good for music, creative imagination, and again, anything that really helps us connect to that now moment, essentially, which is what Pisces is about. So we've already had a lot of this Pisces influence the past couple months with the fast movers recently here in Mercury. Still finishing Pisces. In fact, Mercury will be shifting into Aries next week, so that'll be a shift. And the sun is finishing up Aries. So it has been a past few weeks, I think, of gaining energy through taking action, through asserting ourselves, and that independent energy. But next week, we do also have a shift with the sun going closer to Taurus, adding to a bit of the more grounded aspects of things, gaining energy through taking things slowly and steadily, which we've already been enjoying with Venus and Taurus, so that's still kind of the theme right now, enjoying the slow and steady aspects of life and earth and material abundance and these types of things. But definitely an emphasis next week with the shifts. So lots of shifts taking place after this weekend, adding to the fact that we are finishing not only the cycle, the lunar cycle, but also a lot of these constellations that we've been in. Mars is also finishing Sagittarius, so slowly into next week, a shift into Capricorn, where I think we'll be taking action in a bit of a also grounded way of seeing the big picture through patience and responsibility. So a lot of fire energy kind of wrapping up too, you could say, with the sun and Mars finishing their fire signs. But still a great weekend for that. Even though it's the ending phase, I think a lot of it is kind of bringing in the balance of both fire and energy and action, while at the same time being receptive, intuitive, and getting that rest and tranquility. All right, so that's the backdrop. In terms of the aspects for this weekend, we basically have one major aspect each of the days for the weekend. On Friday, we do have the sun trining Pluto. So Friday could be a really good day for empowerment. Basically, we could be feeling this way. If there's anything that you feel like you want to overcome, that maybe in the past or normally is something that would inhibit us or cause fear or doubt or something like this, great day to really dive deep and take the action or make those changes or whatever it is. And I think with the trine, it just kind of happens naturally, but it's good to be aware that it's there and we can utilize it. So breaking free, diving deep with the self and with life can come easy. Expressing ourselves deeply as well, maybe creatively as well, and just being more in touch with what truly matters most in life and uncovering the hidden aspects of the deeper values of life. So very powerful there with that trine if we sort of are aware of it and use it in that fashion. And then once we get into Saturday, a bit of a challenging energy here with Mercury. So Mercury, the planet of our mind and communication, getting into a bit of clash with Mars, the more personal needs, the strong needs, the instinctual needs. So this can be perhaps a clash collectively with communication, maybe with the routine, trying to assert ourselves, express ourselves, or with the routine, trying to get something done that we're holding on to really tightly about. It's important to us. So as I always say with squares to Mars, good to take a bit of a step back if we can. Take that sort of pause, especially with, again, this Pisces influence. It's good to do that. Listen to our intuition and really practice acceptance of what is, right? The acceptance of maybe not having what we want or, taking that action or whatever it is. So practicing non-attachment basically can be a very constructive way of working with this. On the other side of the spectrum, if there's something that you feel like you've wanted to take some action with or say or communicate that might be challenging to do so, but might require a bit of that initiative to do so. Might be a good day to do that if it's something that is balanced and centered that you feel like could be constructive if saying or doing that particular thing. So essentially finding the balance between the Mars energy when it involves our communication, when it involves our routine, being aware of any over extremes of Mars, which is again those personal needs and desires being strong, or if there's not enough personal needs and desires, bringing in a bit of that to attain balance, basically. So that's the collective energy for Saturday. And then as we get into Sunday, our minds do get a bit of this Uranus energy. Uranus is about the erratic change, wanting new experiences, wanting to break free in many ways. So a really good day for seeing things in a different light. Uranus is all about innovation, progressiveness, thinking outside the box. So great day for this, great day for mental activity that does involve a bit of this unorthodox thinking about things in a new way, doing things that are maybe mentally active, that gets the mind moving, like journaling, writing, things like this, or communicating, free-flowing communication, just to kind of, cultivate what we're all wanting collectively with this is likely some sort of change and freedom, really. Freedom of self-expression, freedom of communication, freedom of routine. So maybe a new chapter in a yearly sense in terms of this change that we're wanting. And so anything we may want to start here today involving that can be great. Now, with that being said, as we get into next week, Mars does start to square up to Uranus. So what we're seeing here is basically this square happening with Mercury going over Uranus, who's then going to be squaring Mars. So what we're starting to see this weekend is that it's kind of a prelude to what we'll see next week, which can be a bit of maybe more impulsive or restless energy collectively, and wanting, again, a bit of that change, wanting to break free in some way, again, with what we want, which is what Mars is about. So I'll talk more about this later, but I just want to bring your attention to the fact that this weekend is good for exploring this energy a little bit. Right? Exploring the assertiveness with the communication, practicing that centered approach, exploring a bit of change with the routine or change with what we're thinking about, new perspectives and things like that to acclimate to this new kind of energy that will be, I think, a shift with the new moon around Tuesday of next week. All right, so that's the weekend in a nutshell. Generally, again, I think the backdrop is that of an ending phase and finishing up a lot of the constellations that we've been in. A lot of the fire constellations, but also water as well. Mercury's going to be leaving Pisces. The moon, of course, will be finishing Pisces this weekend. So developing this fire and water, all right, the active and receptive aspects, which is what I think a lot of this collective energy has been about lately. All right, so have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't yet, and I will see you all Monday for the daily forecast. Take care.